In the middle of the night, I suddenly heard a dripping sound coming from the kitchen. In this old, tube-style apartment complex, water leaks were a common occurrence. The tenant upstairs was a single, middle-aged man who rarely interacted with anyone. I hurried up to knock on his door, wanting to warn him about the leak. But there was no response. He was old. After all, it was normal to be a heavy sleeper. I figured I had done my part by warning him. Besides, I thought, maybe I could use this opportunity to squeeze some money out of him. You're listening
Just
to a
enough to
story
replace
on
the
Hecate
old
electrical appliances in my kitchen. But the next morning, when I ran into the kitchen to check, I was utterly horrified. Blood was everywhere, already coagulating and turning black. The entire kitchen, the walls, the floor, everything was submerged in a pool of blood. That's the whole process. After that, I called the police. I looked at the young police officer who kept his head down, scribbling in his notebook, and said with a hint of impatience, "Shouldn't you be investigating the crime and finding the killer? What's the point of staying here grilling me over and over?" The young officer finally stopped writing and looked up. The moment our eyes met, I froze slightly. He had dark skin, sharp, angular features, and incredibly deep, dark eyes. "Ms. He, my surname is Lin. I'm the criminal investigator sent down from the city to take charge of this murder case. I've read your statement from yesterday. It was quite detailed, but I still have a few details I'd like to clarify." Officer Lin stared straight into my eyes, his voice steady and unhurried. I sighed. "You've already sent several officers here. I've cooperated as much as I possibly can. This incident has everyone terrified. And if you keep coming to my apartment, people who don't know better will think I'm the suspect." Officer Lin smiled, tapping his pen rhythmically on the notebook. "You're humorous, Ms. He. I only have a few questions. It won't take much of your time." I said nothing, silently observing the young man before me, giving my tacit consent. "First question. After you heard the water leaking, why didn't you go straight to the kitchen to check the situation or use a basin to catch the water? You said it yourself. This building is old and lacks proper waterproofing. If you don't catch the water, it will definitely keep leaking down to the floor below. Correct?" A sudden surge of annoyance rose within me. Was he interrogating me like a suspect? What I do is my business. Why are you wasting time here twisting every little detail instead of checking the cameras and finding the killer? Officer Lin rubbed a page in his notebook with his finger, watching me quietly. This was a dismemberment case. The methods were incredibly cruel. The cameras in the hallway have been broken for years. The surrounding area is basically one big camera blind spot. And you were the only person known to have gone upstairs last night. Based on the coroner's time of death, it's possible you met the killer. My only breakthrough lead right now is you." I calmly glanced at the notebook in Officer Lin's hand. On that stark white page, my name was written. Hee Chun, 26 years old. Moderate bipolar disorder. Sensing my gaze, Officer Lin gently closed the notebook, his deep eyes fixed on me, unmoving. "Ms. He, can you answer my question now? Or perhaps, you'd prefer to talk somewhere else?" I snapped my head up. Officer Lin's gaze was heavy with pressure, and for a moment, I felt a genuine panic. "No, right here is fine." I struggled to control my spiraling emotions, forcing a smile. "Officer Lin, as you can see, my life is very difficult. I scrape by doing temporary babysitting and elder care, just enough to get by. If you take me to the station today, no one will ever dare hire me again." My intuition told me this young officer was different from the previous ones. He had a cold, sharp decisiveness. Officer Lin narrowed his eyes, flipping through the notebook. "Ms. He, you were a student at a prestigious university. Why couldn't you find a job?" I clenched my fists, my voice trembling despite myself. "I never received my diploma." Officer Lin raised an eyebrow, a hint of regret in his expression. "Is that so? In that case, please think carefully about how you're going to answer my questions." This was the most ordinary small town in the south. And in this dilapidated, tube-style apartment building, the residents were essentially the lowest rung of society. Parents working far away, leaving their children with grandparents who only knew how to play cards and mahjong every day, was the most common situation. Words like parenting sounded ridiculous here. Their only requirement was simple: just don't let the kids starve. Have you ever witnessed the neighborhood aunties arguing? It's truly maddening. They repeat the same things over and over, fighting for an entire afternoon. The foulest language, the most hateful tones, the most vicious curses, all commonplace here. And the strange man upstairs was even more bitter and caustic than these women. Basically, nobody wanted anything to do with him. Honestly, when I first went up to knock on his door, I was very anxious. The fact he didn't open it actually made me sigh in relief. I knew the water would leak downstairs, and I was even a little gleeful about it. It meant I wouldn't have to clash with the weird man upstairs. And one more victim meant one more person on my side. Officer Lin kept his head down, not looking at my expression. After a long silence, I spoke to break the quiet. Officer Lin, I'm a woman living alone. Perhaps you don't understand my situation. Officer Lin suddenly raised his head, glancing at me quickly with an unreadable expression. But unfortunately, the water didn't leak downstairs. Next question. The kitchen isn't far from the bedroom. Are you saying you didn't smell any blood at all? I shook my head. No, I must have been sleeping too soundly. And when you left, you didn't notice anything when you passed the kitchen? Officer Lin raised an eyebrow, looking at me skeptically. No, there wasn't much blood at first. And the kitchen smells are very strong. It must have masked the smell of blood. I unconsciously dug my fingernails into my palms. Whenever I get agitated, only pain can calm me down. Officer Lin appeared casual, but he was, in fact, watching my every subtle movement. Are you very agitated right now? What? Nothing. Next question. Officer Lin sat up straight. What time did you go upstairs last night? I didn't understand why this young detective from the city kept wasting time asking the same questions. Was he just going through the motions? Or did he not want to solve the case at all? Officer Lin, I already answered all these questions in my statement yesterday. I have to go to work this afternoon. Can we please stop here for today? Officer Lin looked at me calmly. In your statement yesterday, you wrote that you couldn't remember the specific time. My irritation began to boil over. That's right. It was the middle of the night. How am I supposed to know the exact time? But isn't there a clock in the living room? Officer Lin pointed to the clock behind me. This type of digital clock. It glows in the dark. Doesn't it? I froze. I didn't notice. Ms. He, your story has too many holes. I swallowed hard. What do you mean? Are you suspecting me? Officer Lin smiled. No, you're not the killer. I've read your statement. It's full of holes. By rights, we should be having this conversation at the police station. But you absolutely cannot be the killer. I was confused. Why? The young, dark-skinned detective suddenly stood up. Since I walked in here, have you once questioned my identity? How should I prove to you that I'm a police officer? What if I am the killer? The air crackled with a strange tension. Ms. He, you don't seem scared at all. You don't believe I'm the killer. It's as if you know the killer is someone else. Or you know who he is. Officer Lin suddenly let out a laugh. His deep, torch-like eyes catching every minute change in my expression. I laughed along. Officer Lin, stop joking. I'm a good judge of character. I believe you can't be a bad person. Officer Lin laughed out loud. What a coincidence. I'm also a very good judge of character. But I get the feeling you're not a good person at all. The smile on my face instantly froze. What do you mean? Officer Lin raised a finger and pointed upstairs. The reason you can't be the killer is because the victim's cause of death was a single chop severing the aorta. This blow was delivered with immense force, nearly hacking off half the neck. The murder weapon was a butcher's cleaver, weighing over 10 pounds. With Ms. He's build and strength, I'm afraid you'd find it difficult to even lift with one hand. On this point alone, you cannot be the killer. Therefore, there's no need for you to deliberately give a statement full of holes, just to draw suspicion onto yourself. I didn't understand Officer Lin's meaning and frowned. I didn't know the man upstairs. And I don't know who wanted to kill him. Why would I draw suspicion onto myself? Officer Lin's smile vanished, his dark face tightening with severity. You're merely trying to attract the police's attention to yourself, to buy time for the real killer to escape. And another thing, Ms. He, you're lying again. I slowly lowered my head. I'm not. Officer Lin's voice was cold and ruthless, every word carving itself into my heart. You really didn't know the victim? After the victim was dead, the killer proceeded to dismember the body. You're listening to a story. Dismemberment is usually to conceal and transport the body more easily. But according to the forensic report, the degree to which the body was mutilated shows extreme, powerful emotions. This was less about concealment and more like venting rage, considering the extent to which the victim's bones and internal organs were crushed. We cannot rule out the possibility that you participated in the subsequent dismemberment. Ms. He, you are very likely an accomplice. Even now, you still refuse to admit your relationship with the victim? If it's because it's been too long and you can't recall, I don't mind helping you remember. I stared blankly at Officer Lin's moving lips, my entire body turning cold. Horrifying, suffocating memories flooded my mind, piece by piece. Shut up. I covered my ears, screaming hysterically, tears streaming down my face before I even realized it. I had forgotten. I clearly could have forgotten. Why do you people keep forcing me? I clawed frantically at my own arm, trying to use the pain to stay lucid. Officer Lin gripped my wrist, his strength surprisingly firm. His eyes quickly scanned the mess of pill bottles on the cabinet and swiftly found the sodium valproate. Only after watching me gradually calm down after taking the medicine did Officer Lin finally release his grip. I glanced indifferently at my reddened, swollen wrist, then closed my eyes. Ms. He, based on my investigations in the neighborhood, after the victim moved into this building, he harassed you more than once. And from the investigation into your past experiences, we've determined you have a clear motive. The target of the killer has been confirmed. Are you covering for the killer? Are you trying to take all the blame upon yourself? I opened my eyes and looked at Officer Lin. A flicker of pity had appeared in his eyes. I spoke, my voice trembling. Fine, I'll tell you a story. But before I do, please wipe that disgusting look of pity off your face. I don't need it. My name is Hemixia. I used to think I was the happiest child in the world. I had the best mother and father, and everything was as beautiful as a fairy tale. Until one day, an aggressive middle-aged woman led a group of people storming into our home. And everything changed. I used to think my father was a hero, a Superman, but when that terrifying woman pushed my mother to the ground, wildly slapping her face, my father just stood to the side with his head down, completely unmoved. They ripped my mother's clothes to shreds. I wanted to run and help her up, but I was hit with a slap so hard it knocked out one of my teeth. The barrage of curses and the most venomous insults made me feel fear for the first time. I didn't understand what mistress meant. Why were they hitting my mother? Why wasn't Dad protecting us? After that, I don't remember much. I got on a train with my mother, my bloody tooth still in my hand. The clattering train, filled with the noise of the carriage, quickly left the bustling city. I watched the scenery outside the window grow desolate and tightened my grip on my mother's hand. Mommy, where are we going? Where's Dad? My mother's beautiful face was exceptionally dark, a bruise still visible at the corner of her lips. Sha, Mom found you a new dad. That will be our home now. I didn't understand what she meant until she led me to a middle-aged man. His name was Wang Zhang. I disliked him from the very first glance. He had a strange, rank smell on him. The moment he opened his mouth, he revealed a set of yellow-stained teeth, releasing a nauseating odor. His slightly cloudy eyes scanned me from head to toe with ill intent. This girl isn't bad. We can marry her off early. After we're married, you can bear me a son. My mother seemed to sigh in relief, quickly patting me. Sha, call him Dad. I shook my head. My dad wasn't like this. My dad was handsome, refined, and stylish. He would smile and buy me the strawberry jam I loved. Wang Zhang snorted coldly, and my mother immediately pinched me in a panic. You fool, that's not our home anymore. This is your only father now. Only if he agrees can we have a home. I was too young then to understand that the gossip had nearly driven my mother insane. She had lost all hope in life. As long as someone was willing to take her in, she could keep on living, no matter how my mother cried and begged. I stubbornly refused to speak. Wang Zhang suddenly laughed, reaching out to pat my face. It's fine, no rush. There will be plenty of chances for her to call me that later. This child is as beautiful as you, and even younger. Before we found you, we investigated the relationship between you and the victim. Does this story of yours have anything to do with the killer? I lowered my head further. My fingers clenched white. Officer Lin, be patient. The story has only just begun. Officer Lin said nothing, just handed me a glass of water. Wang Zhang was the town butcher. After meals, he would often lift his shirt, patting his potbelly with one hand while saying, "I'm different from those old farmers in the mountains. If you all didn't follow me, how could you have meat to eat every day?" I looked at the slabs of white, fatty meat on the small wooden table and felt slightly nauseous. My mother, however, nodded incessantly, showering praise and agreement on the smug man before her. She had no idea how much suffering this man would bring her, nor that this was the beginning of our nightmare. But even later, when Wang Zhang beat and cursed her daily, even when she was tortured to the point of being unrecognizable, she never once thought of leaving. That day, another vicious slap from Wang Zhang woke me before dawn. My mother gripped his arm tightly. "How about I go help? The girl is timid. She wouldn't dare watch something like that." Wang Zhang shoved my mother aside and dragged me out of bed. "This girl is all grown up. You expect to just feed her for nothing? Learning to butcher a pig won't do her any harm." I watched as a fat sow, squealing in agony, was butchered alive, its entrails spilled across the floor. The gruesome sight shocked me wide awake. In the shadows, Wang Zhang approached me step by step, holding a sharp cleaver still dripping with fresh, warm blood. His face in the dim light looked particularly ferocious and terrifying, like a demon straight from hell. The sharp blade grazed the cloth over my chest. Wang Zhang sneered, "Do you want to be butchered like that?" I trembled violently. My instincts screamed that he would actually do it. I've been butchering pigs for decades. Honestly, butchering a pig and killing a person, there's not much difference. If you don't want to be slaughtered like a pig, you'll come help me butcher every morning from now on. As Wang Zhang spoke, his fat fingers roamed over my body, intentionally or unintentionally lingering in certain places. I flinched, trying to pull away, but that sharp cleaver remained poised at my chest. "I'm teaching you this because I like you. But whatever I teach you, it's best you don't let your mother know. Otherwise, things will get very complicated." Tears streamed down my face, but I bit my lip hard, daring not to make a sound. From then on, every morning, Wang Zhang would bang his cleaver in the courtyard, making a strange, soul-summoning sound until I appeared. During that time, I was on the verge of collapsing, but I still didn't dare tell my mother. I didn't know how to start, and I was afraid she wouldn't help me. But she still noticed something was wrong. That morning, around 3 or 4 a.m., the sound of Wang Zhang sharpening his knife was gone. At first, I heard arguing. It was the first time my mother had ever stood up to Wang Zhang. They fought fiercely, but then, the sound just faded away. I lay in bed, tears rolling from the corners of my eyes. I thought, maybe she had compromised with him again. But, from that day forward, my mother vanished. I raised my hand to wipe the tears from my cheek. Just as I was about to continue, a faint sound suddenly came from the bedroom. Officer Lin immediately tensed. "Is there someone else in the apartment?" I shook my head. "No, this whole building has been infested with rats for years." Officer Lin nodded skeptically, then changed the subject. "Ms. He, this story so far only clarifies your motive. It still has nothing to do with the killer. I must remind you, stop covering for the culprit. You already have a suspect, don't you?" I forced a strained smile. "But you still don't have proof. So you're trying to start with me?" Officer Lin neither confirmed nor denied it. Merely nodding, I took a sip of the cold water in my glass. "In that case, you'd better listen closely to what comes next." Officer Lin frowned, his expression unreadable. I hesitated, my fingertips twisting the hem of my shirt. Because, he once told me he would help me. In those 10 years of hell, my only salvation was that young man whose eyes always sparkled with a smile. His name was Li Lin, the son of the town's secretary. He seemed to know my situation and would, intentionally or not, often come to the slaughterhouse to find me. As long as he was there, Wang Zhang wouldn't dare touch me. I clung to him like a lifeline. That one morning, before the sun was up, I stood trembling as I watched Wang Zhang bleed out a giant sow with a few cuts. Immediately after, he lunged at me. I struggled frantically, terrified, but Wang Zhang's strength was horrifying. I couldn't push him off. He snarled in my ear, "This is what you're supposed to do. Did you think I was feeding you for nothing?" Suddenly, there was a knock on the iron gate of the slaughterhouse. I saw the young man's silhouette through the fence, and tears instantly fell. Li Lin was like a superhero from a movie, appearing in the dawn light. "Uncle Wang, I'm here to buy some meat." Wang Zhang spat angrily on the ground and reluctantly got off me. The moment he handed the meat to Li Lin, I heard him whisper in my ear, "You can leave." At first, I didn't understand what Li Lin meant. Not until he handed me several thick, handwritten documents. The harsh lines of the young man's profile softened a little in the twilight, and his voice was incredibly reassuring. "The world outside is vast. You deserve to see a better one. Based on your description of Li Lin, he has no motive to kill Wang Zhang." Officer Lin seemed convinced I was hiding something. I sighed. "Officer Lin,
You're listening
I don't
to a
really
story
know
on
either.
Hecate Audio.
It's just, besides him, I really can't think of anyone else. Who else would be willing to help me escape Wang Zhang?" "What do you mean by that?" Officer Lin quickly seized on the detail. I clenched my fists. "Do you know why I never finished college?" Officer Lin seemed to guess something, and that flicker of pity returned to his eyes. "Because Wang Zhang is a psychopath. He said if I ever ran away, he would find me and kill me. And he actually did it." Li Lin told Secretary Li about my situation. "And with their help, I finally escaped Wang Zhang and went to a university in another city. But I never expected Wang Zhang to find me there. He was insane. At first, when my advisor told me my father was here to visit, I even held onto a fragile sliver of hope. But when I saw Wang Zhang's terrifying face, I completely fell apart. I didn't even have time to pack. I just jumped on a random train. I just wanted to run." Officer Lin was silent for a long time, just watching me. "You know what happened after that. I came here. I didn't want to dwell on the past anymore. Life is short, and I was just grateful to live the rest of it in freedom. But I never imagined that maniac would find me again, and move in upstairs. He showed up at my door in the dead of morning, holding that cleaver he'd used to kill who knows how many pigs. He said if I agreed to go back with him and marry him, he'd give me one more chance. If not, he would die with me." I said, my voice starting to choke uncontrollably. Officer Lin handed me a tissue. "Then why do you think the killer is Li Lin?" I ignored the tissue, wiping the tears of fear and shame away with my sleeve. "Because he loves me. Wang Zhang found me. Surely because he got the information from Secretary Li. I can just imagine his disgusting act. Crying and repenting to Secretary Li, saying he wanted to make it up to me. But Li Lin wouldn't believe him. He knew Wang Zhang would never let me go. That he would do something desperate." I said anxiously. "He told me he would help me. When I bumped into Li Lin on the street here, I panicked. Why was he here? After I saw the blood in the kitchen, I just knew it had to be Li Lin. But I can't let him ruin his future for me." Officer Lin stood up, looking at me coldly. "So you decided to draw all the suspicion onto yourself? To take the fall for him?" I sobbed, nodding. Officer Lin said suddenly, his voice frigid, "Ms. He, this time, you've guessed completely wrong. The killer isn't Li Lin." I sat on the cold leather chair, watching the figure on the other side of the thick glass, my heart racing uncontrollably. Officer Lin sat beside me, his sharp, torch-like gaze fixed on Li Lin in the interrogation room. "This Mr. Li's appearance doesn't quite match your description, does it?" I looked at the slightly overweight man in the interrogation room, a wave of bitterness rising in me. "People inevitably change," Officer Lin sneered, saying nothing more. The interrogation began. "Do you know Hemixia?" Li Lin shook his head without hesitation. "Think again. Are you sure you don't know her?" The officer took out my photo and placed it in front of Li Lin. Watching the man struggle to recognize me, I couldn't help but speak. "He still doesn't want to involve me." Officer Lin snorted coldly. "Is that so? Then Mr. Li is quite the actor." Li Lin suddenly slapped his forehead. Oh, I remember now. Isn't she the illegitimate daughter of that butcher Wang from my hometown?" Their family situation was a real mess. I used to run into. Li Lin described some unsightly things, and I couldn't help but clench my fists. "Did you seek her out often?" Li Lin quickly explained. "Why would I look for her? In total, I only helped my family buy meat from that butcher Wang a few times." "Did you help her go to college?" "She was the top student in our town. My father is the town secretary. If I provided any academic help, it was all my father's idea. It had absolutely nothing to do with me personally." Officer Lin took off his earpiece. "If Li Lin is really covering for you, I must say, His acting is truly superb. I lowered my head, my spirits sinking to rock bottom. Officer Lin held his phone screen out to me. Unfortunately, news just came in. His alibi holds up for the time of the crime. We can rule him out. Therefore, he is not the killer. I snapped my head up, staring at Officer Lin in disbelief. How can that be? If it's not him, then who is it? Officer Lin, I really never expected to end up in an interrogation room after all. I looked around, unable to shake the feeling of revulsion at the oppressive, solemn atmosphere. Officer Lin's tanned face was taut. He stared at me, motionless. Li Lin is already married. Moreover, he seems to have almost no impression of you. Are you still hiding something from us? I froze for a moment, then suddenly burst out laughing. People really do change. After all, Officer Lin continued to stare at me motionlessly, waiting for a satisfactory answer. I sighed. Did he tell you anything else? Whatever else you want to know, just ask me directly. He did tell us about one person. Is it possible you've forgotten? Xiao Hexu. In that instant, my mind went blank, as if struck by lightning. Officer Lin keenly caught the change in my expression. You shouldn't have hidden this from us. He came here a month ago, went into hiding, and after killing Wang Zhang, his next target must be you. Xiao Hexu was Wang Zhang's son. After his mother died, he took her surname. He always felt his mother's death was suspicious and hated Wang Zhang with a passion. When my mother and I arrived, he naturally hated us too. I only met him a few times. He had an unfriendly appearance, his features hard as if carved from stone, and he radiated a powerful aggression. He once said he would definitely kill Wang Zhang to avenge his mother. Officer Lin rubbed the bridge of his nose, seeming agitated. Then why didn't you tell us? Or the police? Sooner? I bowed my head. I didn't think of him. If you hadn't mentioned his name, I would have forgotten him long ago. Xiao Hexu was a notorious town delinquent. He was in his rebellious phase back then. He'd say anything, you couldn't take it as truth. Officer Lin stood up and walked over to unlock my chair. All right, that's enough for today. You can go home. We'll find you for more questions after we've investigated Xiao Hexu. I let out a small laugh. Officer Lin, you really trust me? What do you mean? Officer Lin reflexively grabbed my wrist, stopping me from leaving. I didn't struggle, just looked into his eyes. To be honest, I'm not even sure I want you to find the killer. Considering my circumstances, shouldn't the killer be my benefactor? Officer Lin's grip tightened on my wrist, suppressed anger hiding in his eyes. You experienced misfortune. You could have called the police. The police would have protected you. I sneered internally but nodded in agreement on the surface. I was just joking. I will definitely cooperate fully. Officer Lin flung my hand away. Ignoring me, I sat on the sofa, silent, staring at the dark bedroom in the distance. Suddenly, the phone rang, sharp and urgent. Ring, ring, ring. I numbly picked up the phone, glancing at the caller. Hello, Ms. He, are you at home? Officer Lin's voice sounded urgent, a stark contrast to his cold indifference that afternoon. I don't know why I just grunted. Yes? What's wrong? Do you need my cooperation again? Get out of the house. Now, don't stay in there, hurry. I frowned. What happened? I suspect the killer is hiding in your apartment right now. His next target is you. Get out of the house. Now, we're on our way. It's best if you keep the line open. Suddenly, a hand reached out from behind me and disconnected the call. A loud dial tone blared. I turned my head and saw an angular face. The police arrived quickly, even faster than I'd imagined. A rusty cleaver was pressed against my neck, still stained with blood that hadn't been wiped clean, the same cleaver Wang Zhang used to use. The pounding on the door was deafening. The police would break it down any second. I just kept looking up silently at that sharp jawline, at that cold face, until Officer Lin's voice broke through. Don't do anything stupid. Let her go. The chaos was deafening. I couldn't hear their dialogue anymore. I just closed my eyes, feeling the warmth radiating from behind me. Suddenly, Officer Lin lunged, shoving me out of the way as the cleaver slashed into his shoulder. Dark red blood instantly gushed out, soaking his stark white shirt. I was terrified. Officer Lin, are you okay? Officer Lin shook his head. Immediately, several officers subdued Xiao Hexu, pinning him to the ground. I watched the man struggling relentlessly on the floor, clutching the hem of my shirt. A month passed. For that entire month, I lived in peace. Apart from the first time Officer Lin asked me to supplement details about when I went upstairs, so they could deduce how Xiao Hexu had followed me into my apartment. He didn't contact me again. Until today, when I suddenly received a call from him, asking if I wanted to come to the station one more time. Ms. He, there were a few things I need to tell you. At the station, I saw Officer Lin again. The wound on his shoulder had almost completely healed. Xiao Hexu has confessed. You were his second target, which is why he was hiding upstairs, waiting for you to open the door to follow you in. In the notebook he's carried for years, it's all about his hatred for you all. He wanted to kill everyone who betrayed his mother. The motive is established. This was a premeditated murder. Xiao Hexu followed you through many places. He was the one who told Wang Zhang your address, wanting to use you to lure Wang Zhang here. The weapon was also found. It's that rusty cleaver, the one Wang Zhang used to slaughter pigs. Xiao Hexu has been sentenced to death. You're listening
Today
to a
is his
story
official
on Hecate
prison
audio,
transfer,
which is why I specifically asked you to come. I looked at him calmly. What? Officer Lin took a deep breath. I want you to know that you can trust and rely on the police. If anything happens in the future, you can find me. I smiled faintly. Just as I was about to speak, I heard a clank, the sound of handcuffs colliding, especially clear in the room. Yes, perhaps I should trust the police. I looked at the thin figure approaching in the distance and sighed. The person who should be standing here in cuffs is Wang Zhang. Not him. Xiao Hexu quickly recognized me. His gloomy eyes suddenly lit up. I dug my nails into my palms, forcing a painful smile. Suddenly, Xiao Hexu went berserk, breaking free from the officer's grip. The chains rattled madly as he threw himself toward me. A sharp, bone-deep pain shot through my wrist, followed immediately by a furious shout, "Hemixia!" Xiao Hexu was quickly dragged away, still screaming my name. Officer Lin shielded me, grabbing my wrist to carefully inspect the wound. My tears suddenly fell. I choked out. It's such a deep bite. It's definitely going to leave a scar for life. Isn't it? Officer Lin frowned. It seems he truly hates you to the core. I slowly looked at the retreating figure. Yes, he should hate me. The old, tube-style apartment building stank of damp and mold. I didn't go home. I went upstairs. I stared at the glaring police seals, my nerves twitching. Through the door, I could still smell the thick stench of blood. I could still see the pools of minced flesh and bone fragments on the floor that had been impossible to clean up. My face turned pale, and I hurried back downstairs. That night, the pain in my wrist kept my mind sharp, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that young man's resolute face. The image of the young man pinning a drunk Wang Zhang to the ground. The image of the young man looking into my eyes at dusk, telling me I shouldn't stay here. The image of the young man, drenched in sweat, shoving a thick wad of cash into my hand. The day my mother disappeared, I looked at the table full of meat and fish and couldn't stop the urge to vomit. Wang Zhang grinned. If you don't obey, you'll end up just like a pig. I'll butcher you and cook you into a feast. My whole body trembled, fear seeping into every pore, until the young man pulled me into his arms. His eyes were filled with determination. I'll help you kill him. Okay? I dug my sharp nails into my palms, using the pain to stay lucid. No, I have to kill him myself. I want to use the same method he taught me, to chop him to pieces. Bit by bit, the young man's voice trembled slightly. Okay, I'll help you, but you shouldn't be dragged down by him. You should have a wide open, beautiful life, as bright as you are. Not like me. My life is already mud. There's nothing left to care about. I shook my head. No. The young man gripped my hand tightly. Promise me. I looked at him, tears streaming down, his resolute face filled with a cold, bloodthirsty madness. By the time I arrived, Wang Zhang was already gruesomely dead. I stared at the blood pooled on the floor, my heart pounding. The young man pressed the heavy cleaver into my hand. I killed him. You must remember that. You are only a victim.